is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to Mike in Southern California. Hey, Mike, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, nice to talk to you again. And I have to start out and first tell you, I love this trading room. This thing's great. This app, it works great. And getting all the information, you're like instantly there. No delay, nothing. That's
I know.
great.
I appreciate you growling problem with us.
Your channel is in my pocket all day long. It's wonderful.
Thank you, man.
Again.
Thank you.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What's going on, everyone? This is Jacob Shoup here watching the Tom O'Brien Show. It seems like the results are in. I guess Kamala Harris did call Trump to concede. I guess that was released an hour ago. I know there was some kind of speculation regarding some of the votes that had not been counted yet due to mail-in, but it seems like that's what's going on. I want to say, too, you know, for everyone in the den and on YouTube and stuff like that, I know these kind of days can be definitely a little bit sensitive, and I just loved, like, the whole day I was watching the den. I just wanted to make sure nothing, you know, went insane or anything like that, and you know, it blew me away because the rest of the internet I haven't even been going on because it's just such a flame storm, and so it's nice, you know. We've kept it, you know. The only mention of politics in it is how is this going to affect, you know, the stock market? What do we do? How do we trade? And a lot of people have been trading today, so it's been awesome just to kind of read the den and you know, be at rest, right? At least throughout the workday with all that kind of stuff. If you guys are not in the den, maybe you're watching this on YouTube or watching this on Twitch or whatever it may be, I really recommend going ahead and checking that out. You can go to TFNN.com right here in the services tab. Actually, it's on the front page. I just put it there yesterday. As the computer loads a little bit, you can do the Tiger's Den trading room. It is $1 a year to get in there. The only reason we charge that dollar is just because we want to be sure we know who's in there. That's for the safety of everyone, right? Obviously, we keep your information confidential. It never gets out. But go ahead and check that out. Again, that's $1 a year. You do that. You set up Discord. Very simple app. A lot of people, well, maybe a lot of people use it worldwide, and yeah, it's great. I've gotten turned on to some pretty good options there, and it's neat. Additionally, this Friday, I really want to stress this as well. We have live trading Fridays with Larry Pesavento. So basically, you just sit behind Larry. This is in the Discord server as well, and you can watch him as he kind of trades, and you can make your own decisions based on there. Tommy set up this kind of savings code we have for this month. That is going to be Larry Nov 24. Larry NOV for November 24. That's a $50 savings right there for your first month. So strongly recommend coming in and checking it out. That's also a great way to kind of start the day. That's 9 a.m. to noon, and that price is actually good for 2 sessions, right? So the second and fourth Friday of every month. But, you know, say you get it on the fourth Friday or something like that. Yeah, of course you can come to the one that's the next month as well. So that is for 2 sessions of that. Let's take a look at what we got going on in the market right now. You have the composite up about 3%. I mean, like, look, I'm looking at the E-mini. This thing took off today. I mean, really, we're getting up right under the 6,000, making all-time highs in the Dow and the E-mini, trading at 5,957 right now, right under that 6,000. You have the composite up about 2.93%. The Dow Jones Industrial is flying, making major highs, 42,694. I mean, you know, we were floating around that 42,000, and, you know, we're 300 points away here from 44,000, which is kind of nuts. So we'll see if that continues, if this is kind of like a pump, get people in, maybe some of the big guys pull this stuff. We'll see what happens. And then you have the Russell flying as well, trading up 5.7%. All right, now to get to it, you have a massive rebound of the dollar. You have a lot of these other currencies, you know, Canada and Europe and stuff like that kind of getting devalued against this kind of thing, the dollar itself. So you have the DXY up about 105. It's trading at 105.06, trading up about 0.16 as it stands right now. That's essentially creating some kind of selling pressure, right? In gold, we're off about 2.77. This is the first time we're breaking that 2,700 level in quite a while there. Of course, you're just about to make 2,800. You have copper getting hit pretty heavily as well, off about 5.26%, trading at 423 on that contract. and then silver off as well, about 4.53%. Of course, your bonds are coming down as well. Some of the big winners for today, yeah, I mean, obviously Tesla, right? This is what we were saying. Everyone kind of knew this, or at least I did think that everyone knew this. And I'm not saying this to their shade, because that's not true, and this person has done phenomenally. But you had some like really large fund managers sell Tesla right before this election in the event that Musk actually won, which I didn't really understand. And the argument for that was, well, the shareholders don't want to see him being in government. And maybe on the long term, that's kind of true. How does that operate? It's, kind of remains to be seen what's going to happen if Musk takes as Secretary of Transportation or whatever he's doing, how, much he can be involved in Tesla. But as we've been seeing with everything we see with Musk, right? Even if SpaceX does well or something else does well, Tesla goes up, right? I mean, that's just an invest on or just a buy on the name, really. And with Trump winning, you have this shooting up 14.8%, which is kind of nuts, trading at 288 as it stands right now. Of course, American Steel, this is Steel Dynamics right here, trading at 13.3 to the upside there, trading at 153, massive move up. Wow. Now, what's kind of unique about it, especially with Tesla, so this is the thing I was saying, right, with like EVs. In the event that you had the Democrats win, this was going to be bullish for EVs, right, because they've been dumping a bunch of money in to try to get the EVs running. In the event of a Trump win, it wasn't a necessary given that they were going to sell off in such a major way, right, because you had Elon Musk in that cabinet. It seems that how it's playing out right now is it's more just, I think, bullish on Tesla because of Musk's name. I can't see a realm where Trump would do something so devastating to one of his, cabinet members' kind of companies like that, if that kind of makes sense. But you're seeing in other things like Lucid trading off 7.3%, heavy to the downside, and then Rivian is getting smoked as well. One of the things that made me kind of nervous, you're off about 8.78% right now in Rivian. I think he was talking on Joe Rogan as a Donald Trump interview, but he brought up this concept of the electric vehicles being too heavy for American infrastructure, which is kind of unique. And he talks so much about oil. I mean, he's going to drill. You don't have crude oil off too much right now, trading off about 0.19%. But even at his victory speech, or, the pre-victory speech that Trump gave last night, he was like, we are going to continue to drill. He keeps referring to oil as liquid gold. I think he sees that as a way to kind of pay off debt to enrich us, which is contrary to what this whole strategy has been over the past 4 years, which is divesting out of oil. Now, I say divest, we're making the most oil we ever had and more than anyone in the world. So I don't want to paint it like we've somehow been contracting on that end, right? But the investments from that have been kind of going into EV, I think, right? So it's hard to say right now. I think it's a shame because we just found that massive lithium deposit in Arkansas, and that could really enrich us as well. And so I wonder if you have Musk whispering in his ear, and his tune might change on that. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, everyone. Over the break, I was taking a look at any news on Rivian, and you had some of the head of software come out and say, this is like this kind of weird thing. So it looks like they're not really going to be profitable by Q4, which is really unfortunate. So I could see us kind of going back down to some of these lows, like in the $8 area. They might have a complete blowout play, but it's been a really tough year for EVs. And so I don't really see that happening. They're still having supply chain issues, all this kind of stuff. And they come out and say, you know, one of the things that I think can be criticized in this market right now is a lot of like the hype that goes on, you know? And, you know, Musk's a perfect example, right? He'll like hype up these things beyond comprehension and people love them. But it does work to some certain extent, right? This is almost like a kind of cult personality thing going on here, up 15%. But I mean, people play it and make really good money on these upswings. That's why I'm always so like sensitive about, you know, shorting Tesla or something like that. It does work, clearly, like the shorts do work. But for me, like the risk is something that I don't process very well on that. And, you know, you have this big conversation around autonomous driving right now. I mean, you had a massive valuation with Waymo, you had Tesla's robotaxi event. And you have Rivian coming out, and, you know, they're like, yeah, the future is definitely going to be hands-free, but that's not what we're going to focus on right now, which is honest, and I appreciate that, right? But I part of this company leads me a lot to be wanting, at least from that perspective, getting the hype up around it, right? It can make them more money. They hype the stock. You know what I mean? You don't have to dilute the thing. You don't have to get debt from outside. So that's a little bit of an issue, but they did kind of reinforce, like, the whole point of what we're doing is creating this OS, right, that can be used in other cars, which is a massive thing. That's what VW is kind of, you know, investing in them for. What I didn't like, though, is how they say, hey, we're not really a vehicle company. This is a recent report as well. We're not really a vehicle company. We're just an operating system company. I don't think that's the correct way to approach this at all. Regardless, as you stand now, you're trading off about 8.69%. It was fun when it lasted around this area and, you know, made some profits there, but then of course, you know, you hold, and now we are here at 967. Very fun times. Let's take a look at, I want to talk about Palantir just kind of quickly. We'll just kind of go everything on it. Actually, yeah, don't want to talk about Palantir. I'm trying to space my time out to figure out what I want to talk about. This is a real movement. You're up 7% right now as well. PE's back in the 270s area when it kind of came down a little bit. this is pretty cool, right? So this is a quote from Karp, and I was a little bit nervous holding it into the earnings. Of course, I took profits around that 45 level, and it just impressed people enough, and they loved it. Now we're moving up 7%, so that's fantastic for the company, and it's some decent volume than what's usually trading at. So you had Karp saying we absolutely eviscerated the quarter, driven by unrelenting AI demand. This is a U.S.-driven AI revolution that has taken full hold. And that's kind of a unique thing for him to say, because this is not happening among our allies in such a major way in places like Europe, right? So I wonder if, in order to operate better, if there's some kind of NATO standard that gets passed, like, hey, listen, we use these suite of tools, do the same thing. But that's not really what you bank on with Palantir. Getting into the enterprise kind of private sector is massive for them. So they had revenue growth of 44% year over year and 14% quarter over quarter. That's to right under $500 million. U.S. commercial revenue grew 54% year over year, that's really what we were looking at, right? And 13% quarter over quarter to $179 million. And the U.S. government revenue grew 40% year over year. That's 15% quarter over quarter. Let's see here. Just revenue in total was 30% year over year. Closed 104 deals over 1 million. Very nice. Customer count grew nearly 40%, 6% year quarter over quarter. Let's see anything else. Rule of 40 scores 68%. Interesting. I haven't seen people say that. Yeah. So I mean, they did extraordinarily well, and it looks like they're building out more. Now, there's some conversation. Let me see if there's anything in the investor newsletter that they have. Yeah, so you can see this kind of like move in here. They're going to bottled water manufacturers, so that operating kind of intelligence is like very interesting. Healthcare provider, and then agricultural software provider. So you can see them kind of moving out. The Ukrainian government partnered with Palantir to leverage the AIP to enhance decision-making in humanitarian demining operations. Very unique. And I think as well, like even in times of peace, intelligence gathering doesn't stop. There's always something that's going on, people that need to be monitored, and Palantir can be up there. Yeah, they're expanding Maven, so that's set in. Yeah, very neat stuff. And then Palantir's visual navigation, which processes essentially in drones, like right in the field, which is really cool. Additionally on this, I had some people talking about Llama, right? And Microsoft, here we're gonna talk about this. I say Microsoft, I mean Meta. This is one of the headlines they have, right? So they're allowing the government to essentially use the Llama kind of LLM to essentially do whatever operations they have. This was in the past not really what Meta intended. This article, let's take a look at this. It says open source AI can help America lead in AI and strengthen global security. Very true. Meta's open source Llama models are increasingly being used by a broad community of researchers, entrepreneurs, developers, and government bodies. We're pleased to confirm that we are also making Llama available to U.S. government agencies, including those that are working on defense and national security operations. So, does this impact Palantir? More of what I think is kind of occurring here in some capacity. Again, this is just like the LLM in a major way, right? So like data analytics and stuff like that, not necessarily the gathering within the same suite that Palantir has. I think as well what a part of this is right here, where you have we're partnering with companies including Accenture Federal Services, AWS, Anduril, Booz Allen, Databricks, Deloitte, IBM, Leidos, Lockheed Martin, Microsoft, Oracle, Palantir, so you have that as well, and Scale AI and Snowflake to bring Llama to government agencies. And so I think these larger companies that contract with it, right, if for whatever reason the government is not allowed to use Llama per Meta's request, could these companies actually utilize Llama in doing business with the US government? And, whenever part of that really drives a lot of this kind of stuff. But as it seems, I don't see this like taking, much of the moat away, right? I mean, you're partnering with Anduril, which essentially does the same thing as Palantir in a lot of different ways, much more on the scale of like border security, but it is going into these kind of autonomous like mother crafts that we're going to have. It beat out Lockheed Martin for it. So I don't think that this is going to conflict in such a major way and outcompete Palantir, more so, being much more complementary for the whole thing. As it stands, Palantir doing quite well, trading up 7.4% percent today. All right, let's move to some other earnings. Oh, you know what we can talk about as well is, because I just clicked to it, is SMCI. Yeah, let's talk about SMCI, because they got some sketchy stuff going on, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better for them. They're off 18.5%. So new data center firms were cut. Sales outlook is bad for them. I want to get what they released, right? Okay, so when we get back, we're gonna go over what Supermicro announced yesterday and why it doesn't give me any hope that, a big AI company trading at PE, of 11 is necessarily good to get into right now. So folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The consistency you're looking for is closer than you think. 1 or 2 adjustments are usually all you need to change your equity curve from red to green and keep it there. Come join Larry Pesavento live to learn what separates the winners from the losers. Join Larry Pesavento on the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, where Larry will show you the market setting up and, most important of all, the state of mind of a winning trader. By watching Larry trade, you'll learn the Fibonacci levels, you'll learn how to apply A to B to C to D trading patterns, you'll learn trade management, pattern recognition, and much more. Join Larry October 11th and 25th for more live trading action. Your purchase goes towards 2 sessions, so make sure to sign up now so you don't miss a chance to sit next to Larry as he trades the market live. For all information and to reserve your spot today, go to the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, everyone. We're taking a look at SMCI Supermicro, company embroiled in scandal. Let's take a look at what they have. These are the news details. They released these yesterday, and we're just going to talk about them a little bit. Okay, so basically not good, right? Obviously, they're being accused of accounting mismanagement, right? Their auditors left saying that they're not being very compliant, even with them. And so then you got these kind of out, the preliminary first quarter fiscal year 2025 highlights. So let's take a look. Net sales in a range of 5.9 billion to 6 billion compared to its previous guidance of 6 to 7. So this is contracting and narrowing. GAAP and non-GAAP gross margin of approximately 13.3%. The diluted net income per common share is 68 cents to 70 cents as opposed to 60 to 77. So you're seeing this narrowing occurring, not on the lower end, right? I mean, you can kind of argue middle end on it, but you know, this is on lower end for sure, at least in net sales. So the company expects to report total cash and cash equivalents of approximately 2.1 billion and total debt of approximately 2.3 billion, with bank debt comprising approximately 600 million in convertible notes, 1.7. An audited interim financial information presented in this press release is preliminary. The financial results reported for this period may also differ from the results reported in this release. Okay, this is the main thing, right? So NASDAQ compliance plan. This is what we all kind of really wanted to look at to see, like, is this now a value play, right? Because, I mean, you're taking a look as well, I don't know, and this might be skewed right now because of the election, but, you know, competitors, Dell, Hewlett-Packard. Okay, Dell's up 3.26%. A little portion of this might have to do, obviously, with the election that just happened, but it didn't seem like when everything was going wrong Supermicro, people were necessarily like hopping into Dell or Hewlett-Packard. Hewlett-Packard's up 6.3 right now, but I'm talking, you know, in the weeks prior, you know, to this, when all this information was coming out of Supermicro and having, you know, conversation around NVIDIA moving away from them. They have until, what is it, November 16th to file and be in compliance with the NASDAQ or face delisting. And again, this conversation with NVIDIA getting away from Supermicro just to ensure that everything operates properly for them, I don't think is good. And it was blowing my mind that this company was running up the past few days. I don't know what the thought behind that was at all. So the company has 60 days from the date of the notice. Either file, we know this is going to be essentially November 16th, right? They have 10 days. And this is all they say. The company intends to take all necessary steps to achieve compliance with NASDAQ continued listing requirements as soon as possible. You don't have any time. Your auditor left. You're not being very transparent. Yeah, your sales are contracting here, at least in the lower end of the range of previous guidance. Everything's narrowing in. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird situation, and so this still remains toxic. Now, maybe they turn this all around and everything they're saying in this is correct, right? And if so, I mean, the net sales is still a little bit sketchy, right? So, you know, down again from that previous guidance of 6 to 7 billion. So definitely on the low end of the previous guidance. But, you know, something that's so integral to the AI boom, right? With a PE of 11, yeah, and a market cap of what, 13 billion? Like that's still pretty solid, right? And we've seen how this stock performed in the past, and it stayed pretty steady, elevated market cap. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait till November 16th. If there's any more news that comes out, of course, we're gonna like stay posted on this, and that can inform, you know, what you want to do. You know, if they decide to stay on and they stay on the NASDAQ, and NVIDIA comes back, I mean, this stock will move. It'll move super high. But it's just too risky to play right now, and they're just them not being super transparent is a little bit annoying. And then also, you know, calling the auditors, like saying the auditors are in the wrong or something like that is also kind of a silly way to deal with all of that. Let's move on a little bit. Well, actually, okay, we're going to stay in this realm for just a moment. We have IonQ, okay? This has earnings at the end right now, trading up 8.63%, kind of sketchy. Right before earnings, see how it moves. I think that's releasing at 5 p.m. You're looking for an EPS loss of about 23 cents, which would be improving. And I'm kind of curious about this company. First thing I want to say is they're quantum computing, right? It's not always something that I'm super hyped about. Obviously, pretty narrow applications for that kind of stuff, at least as it stands now. In the future, no doubt this will be massive, but it's more of a question of, when. You've had massive move ups on them securing funding from the Air Force, which is huge. $1 million extension of its contract with AWS, which I think is great. And it was selected by Applied Research Laboratory for Intelligence and Security for a quantum network contract to design first of its kind network system built for blind quantum computing. Yeah. I mean, AI and quantum computing, no doubt, are going to be the future. Whoever has the first big effective quantum computer, which already kind of exists, right, is going to be able to crack whatever encryption algorithm that exists currently. That's why you had NIST come out with PRISM. We spoke about that months ago when it happened. But this is going to be the edge, And for machine learning, quantum computing can be massive, especially if you're talking about even like inference on certain things. So I'm just kind of following it. I have no real position right now in IonQ. But I'm interested. They've had improving revenue over the past few quarters, which is pretty solid. Again, expanding contracts on top of that as well. It seems somewhat just interesting because, hey, if we're all buying a bunch into this AI hype, which is certainly real, quantum computing will be integrated with that as well. And again, you had NIST come out and actually employ new standards that were meant to circumvent any kind of essentially ability to code break of quantum computing, which I think is super awesome. Kind of protect against that. So the threat is real, and you have the Air Force getting into it. So we'll see what happens with IonQ. I just want to put that on your guys' radar. That's a $54.5 million contract, by the way, with the U.S. Air Force. That's delivered over 4 years. Interesting stuff, right? All right, let's talk about HIMS. Well, first, I think we should probably talk about Novo, right? Because they have the semaglutide. All right, so everything with Novo Nordisk, they're kind of down right now. What the heck is that Novo? Yeah, NVO. Yeah, so you're off 4.22%. We're going to talk about why this is all kind of happening here. But let's just go over the kind of the article, what happened with it. So, Wegovy, this is the weight loss drug they beat sales expectations in the third quarter, sending shares higher about 8.5% early trade. That has come, we're off 4.19 right now. Ahead of the results, analysts have been concerned that lowering prices and muted prescriptions would hurt the sales of the drug in the first quarter, while disappointing obesity sales last week from Eli Lilly had heightened for years. We kind of spoke about why that might be, and I think it's really competition from the compounders. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, everyone. Before we go on about Novo Nordisk and eventually HIMS, there was a question in the YouTube chat asking, how do we call into the show? That's from Jim. Yeah, so, we moved offices. This was about maybe like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. There's been a lot going on since then. And so with that, we don't have the original landline. We're looking right now into doing something with Google Phone, and we want to get that worked up, but we want to make sure that it's the proper way, unless, we decide we have to go back to phone or something like that. So as it stands now, we don't have the call in currently, but we're working very hard to get that up and running. But I believe we're going to do Google Phone with that. That's going to allow us to have multiple lines like how we did, in the past. So we'll keep you guys posted on all of that. And again, if you have any suggestions, some great like VoIP kind of service, please email me at jacob@tfnn.com. We'll take a look at that because we want to get you guys to be able to call back in. We all love hearing from you all very much. So, all right, moving on from that, let's take a look at Novo Nordisk. Okay, off 4.33%. So drug inventories grew 4% in the quarter, slower rate in the first half. Inventories have grown 19% since 2023. They say, essentially, this is some of the analysts here, we expect Novo shares to perform well today following significant recent weakness in the shares. Third quarter, okay, it didn't too much. The sales performance comes after Eli Lilly, the company's biggest competitor in the booming weight loss market, disappointed investors last week as sales of its Mounjaro and Zepbound medications came in below estimates in the third quarter. So, operating profit growth for them is expected 21% to 27%, away from 20 to 28%. So just narrowing a little bit. That might be in part why you get some of the sell-off from 27 top bound from 28%. And then expected sales growth is at 23 to 27, again from 22 to 28. So that might explain some of it as well. Let's go over to HIMS because this is what's interesting to me. Now, it seems we're going to take a look at what their investor letter was, what they're kind of saying to us, right? One of the things that we did pretty well with HIMS is notice this sell-off here and how that actually wasn't legit. Mainly being that it was tirzepatide that was getting off the shortage list, not semaglutide, which is what HIMS is compounding. That's what Novo Nordisk makes as well. You probably heard me say that incessantly, but that is what was going on. You had this major sell-off on basically the news that Novo Nordisk's Wegovy and Ozempic are no longer, that semaglutide is no longer on the shortage list, and that they're going to additionally clamp down on these compounders, right? And they're trying to implore the federal government, these things are more dangerous than ours, whatever. So it doesn't seem like people necessarily think that, at least the guys who wanted to get into HIMS. This was awesome, right? I mean, really, you just have this big sell right here at 1834, kind of at that low, and then we're moving up. We're trading at 2311. This is trading up 11.9%, which is kind of insane. So let's take a look at that real quick. I just want to get the right thing up for you. Okay. Q3. Okay, let's pull this over. Oop. All right, him and hers health. Okay. So you have a revenue of $401.6 million, up 77%. Net income, $75.6 million. Adjusted EBITDA of $51.1 million. Subscribers grew to 2 million, up 44% year over year. That's awesome. So improving momentum in both the Hims and Hers brand, delivered another strong quarter of growth and profitability. Our execution against a strategy that brings customers convenient, transparent. Yeah. We get all this, right? This is really what's so unique about it. It's not so much just the compounding of the semaglutide. That was fantastic. But the ability to kind of skirt these traditional channels for getting some of these meds. And again, I mean, this concept was trying to be essentially achieved by Mark Cuban as well. So that's essentially what they were doing. They do discuss in here, okay, subscribers at the end of the period. This is awesome growth, right? So you have 44%. Monthly online revenue has increased as well for these guys. Net orders has increased. The AOV has increased. Online revenue up 79%. Wholesale revenue up 28%. Total revenue up totally 77%, which is great. Now I want to find where they're talking about their books improving as well, which is great to look at. This might not include the other data that I want to talk about. Essentially, they're going to go forward with compounding of another GLP-1, which is pretty insane. That one was also made by Novo Nordisk, but it is just generic as it stands now. And I really do think at that cheaper kind of level, this is what's driving Him and Hers so powerfully. And if you get a lot of people who are using GLP-1, okay, listen, I can't use semaglutide anymore in Hims and Hers, but I'm so familiar with the company and I love it. Like, oh man, they're offering another GLP-1 that's generic at this point, and I can just keep buying it for that kind of price. I mean, I see it going that way without a doubt, you know? And so it's kind of unique to see how they're going to, I think, exist on this, right? I do think that they're probably going to get more people. You see the demand that's kind of going away. Now, its demand's still high and growth so high for like for Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, but you're seeing so much more growth in Hims and Hers, right? And in my opinion, that really is driven pretty heavily by them having that compounded semaglutide. And so I think you're seeing some of the demand kind of go that way. It just is cheaper entirely. So it's kind of neat to see that happen. Here you go. This is the one I wanted to talk about. Yeah, okay. All right, personalized solutions across newer specialties. So we continue to see an early focus on personalization, accelerate our ability to scale new specialties as we utilize past learnings. Okay, this is going to allow them to still do the semaglutide compounding. So most recently, we introduced access to personalized dosing and titration in our compounded semaglutide offering. That is awesome. They could still do that even with it being off the shortage list. Pharmacy infrastructure scaling, increase our ability to address multiple concerns, both within and across specialties. I don't have any need to buy from Hims, but I did set up an account just to see how it works. And it actually is pretty straightforward to use, which I think is good. And then again, in this letter, they also speak about pivoting to that other GLP-1, which is fantastic. Non-personalized growing as well, this is contracted here. So you have the personalized increasing, which is pretty fantastic. So, I mean, yeah, this company is killing it, even with, this idea, again, of what I've been saying, with the semaglutide being off the shortage list. It seems like they're still going to be able to kind of absorb some of that loss because you have these personalization kind of solutions increasing. And within this green is where you're going to be able to sell that compounded semaglutide. This is pretty cool. I like it. I'm not in it at this level right now, up 12%, because I just don't want to buy stocks that are running up 12% like that. I just wait for the next few days to see if you get any kind of pullback on it. But regardless, I think it's kind of neat. And I've come to really enjoy reading about this stock and seeing how it, moves up and kind of the, how can I say, like the sentiment that people have for it. A lot of young people I know as well, like guys, when I bring this up or something like that, like, oh, this is what I'm looking at today. They're like, oh yeah, man, like I've seen an ad for that, which is awesome. It's really getting out there and stuff like that. Let's take a little bit look at Toyota since they kind of got smoked, and we'll do that when we get back from the break.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com and hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com. Then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to talk about Toyota 4 p.m. market update, just because they have some kind of input on electric vehicle investment as well. We're going to look at Innovix here. Why I'm looking at them is because it seems like there's a little bit more, some clout developing around these kind of silicon batteries, right? We were talking about these solid state batteries going forward, and it seems like silicon, these are going to be silicon anodes. Remember, we were talking about they usually use graphite, right? And that absorbs all the lithium ions. Well, silicon's a little bit better at that. So this is one stock to kind of look into. I want to do some more research on it at all, or just before I even speak more on it, but to kind of put it in on your radar. You have General Motors with 1D Battery Sciences. They're trying to get into that kind of stuff. They have the Ultium battery cell, which is essentially going to be silicon, which is pretty interesting. You have this happening with Porsche as well, the Mercedes G-Class SUV in 2026. So, before, these kind of solid state batteries that are no doubt going to be the future can kind of take a hold and really get kind of refined to where they can go into mass production, you might see some interesting movement within silicon, which is kind of cool. So yeah, away from graphite into silicon, kind of a neat development. I love this realm, and that's why I'm always like so sad when I hear like certain investments get, kind of cut off, right? Because this kind of stuff pushes our understanding in such a massive way, and it generates business. And I do think in some capacity, right, like even with, potential less investments in EV, you still have it going on for some kind of time, right? And America stands to make a lot of money on lithium if we can get access to the deposit in Arkansas. It'll be kind of interesting to see, what happens with that going forward, I guess. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Tommy O'Brien Morning Market Kickoff. Take care.